Mic check 1 2 1 2. 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 Ooh. Did y'all hear that? I just cracked my neck. Oh my god. Ooh, chap. Hi guys, welcome back to That's So Thinkative. I'm your host Janel, aka the baddest. I hope everyone is doing well. And in this episode, we're going to talk about the feeling of not being good enough. Grab your motherfucking seats. Actually, I wrote down a few notes because usually I write it or type it on my computer. But since I'm doing the video part of this as well, I thought it would be really, cool to have my little composition notebook like old time. And it felt so good to write on paper. Zanisha was right. It does feel a lot different to write your thoughts down on paper. It really does help. 10 out of 10. But I wanted to first start off with the question of the week. And it's like a new segment that I'm starting off. And it's going to be every now and again where I ask you guys a question. And I'm going to answer it here. And then I hope that you guys answer it on my Instagram. Or you can send me a DM if you feel more comfortable. But the question of the week is, when do you feel not enough? And how and when has this belief stopped you in any way? Now, for me, usually when I get this feeling of not being enough is when I'm rejected by a job or a person or an opportunity of sorts, or when I try something and I'm not automatically great at it. I just feel like I'm just not enough or something. And it's kind of funny to think that way because we always want to be perfect at everything we do. For most people, we're like, most people struggle with perfectionism. And me personally, I feel like whenever I'm not great at something right away, I automatically think that like I'm never going to be great at it, which, girl, yeah, we work it through a lot of things over here, but those are the times I usually feel I'm not enough in, or usually when that feeling comes up. And this feeling has stopped me from going after things. It stopped me from applying to things because of fear of being rejected, fear of it not working out, or fear of it just, embarrassing or being an embarrassing moment, another thing for me to hold on to. So when I graduated from my junior college, or I transferred from my junior college, I didn't apply to any UCs. I just didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think that my grades were good enough, and I was coming from a junior college, so I really didn't think that was going to be something that they wanted. Girl, I was coming out of junior college with a 3.8 as a student athlete. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but I did not apply to any UCs, and luckily I did get into a really good school. I went to San Francisco State, but I wonder how my life would have turned out if I would have gave myself even a chance to get rejected, or even a chance for the opportunity to get in. Like I just wrote it off. I didn't even give myself a shot. I just counted myself out automatically because of that already notion in my mind that I'm not enough and I shouldn't even waste anybody's time by applying. Crazy work, I know. That is the question of the week. But now I want to transition into this episode. So I want to start off with when was the first time I felt not enough? And this was actually kind of hard to think about, kind of hard to pinpoint that moment, because I'm pretty sure it started very young and it just blossomed or caused havoc since. But when I was about 7 or 8, I think, and around this time I used to love to dance. I used to dance all the time. Like when we would go to, when you have like birthday parties and stuff like that and Tommy the Clown would come out, I would be so geeked and wanted to dance with them. And I actually went to a Tommy the Clown like rehearsal thing or whatever. I was really into it. Like I loved to dance. It was so fun. It was so freeing. And I remember a cousin or a friend, I don't know, black people call everybody their cousin, but a cousin or a friend was shooting a music video and he wanted the kids on the street to like dance or whatever. And I remember dancing in front of my dad's lowrider, and I was going hard. I was going so hard. My little body was moving. I know it because I remember vividly just going as hard as I could because I wanted to be in the video. And I remember that feeling of, being done, blah, blah, blah. And then I remember the feeling of not being picked to be in the video and wondering, like, what did I do wrong? I thought I was eating. Like, I thought I had it in the bag. Like, what was doing wrong? What did I do wrong? And then I don't know if it was a friend or a cousin or a sibling or whatever, somebody that told me that you just can't dance. You're too stiff or whatever the case may be. And that stuck with me. And to this day is something I constantly am aware of. And it's a story that I have attached myself to. It's a feeling that I have attached myself to. I can go back to that moment at any time, at any day, and feel exactly what I felt that moment. And it's something that I've been constantly working through because I love to dance. I still love to dance. I dance around my apartment all the time. And when I'm at clubs, I'm very aware of that story. I still tell myself because I'm constantly overthinking in the club. Like, am I moving too fast? Am I on beat? Like, do I look weird? And when they do the before I let go, and I hate it because I don't know it all the way. Like, I know the first, few things, and then when they when somebody extra and they slap the floor, and I want to do that so bad, but I just feel like I think too much, and I think it all boils down to me just not feeling like I'm enough, and feeling like I can do that or whatever, and not having the confidence to do so. But we're working through it. We're working through it. Next, I want to talk about what contributes to that thought for me. And I think it mainly comes from comparison and looking at other people and their lives and their achievements and the way they look and the way they dress and the way they act and the way they move, and comparing it to everything about me and seeing where I fall short at and seeing where I'm not matching up to them or I'm not as good enough as them, and seeing what they have and comparing it to what I have, and just feeling like I'm behind, or I'm never going to have that, or I'm never, like, just limiting beliefs and a really negative self-talk that just keeps on going on. And it just really boils down to not being satisfied in the now for me. So social media and just not being grateful and satisfied in what's happening for me in this very moment now, what's good in my life now. For me, what has helped, I'm human. It still happens to this day. I'm not like, I don't think you ever get over anything, really. Well, you get over things, but like, I think you mainly learn to deal with things and to navigate through them more than anything. And what has helped me navigate through this feeling and this story that I've told myself is, one, taking the power back that I've given my self-critic in my head. Like, my op is right here. The biggest op I have right now is my head, like me in my head. Like, she sometimes be in there causing havoc for no reason. Girl, we eating breakfast. Why are you acting like this? Have some decorum, okay? Because what is going on? But I gave my self-critic in my head a name. And every time she starts acting up, I question her. Her name is Tabitha, by the way. I question her. I'm like, Tabitha, what you got going on today? Like, what's up? What's good? Like, I challenge every thought she has. Because who are you? And why you say that? And who said that? And when she's telling me that I'm not enough, or I'm not pretty enough, I'm not funny enough, I'm whatever the case may be, I back it up with some evidence. And I challenge her. I saw this TikTok yesterday where this person said that they boo their self-critic out loud, and I'm gonna start doing that. So when my self-critic starts going crazy in my head, I'm like, boo, you stink, tomato. Because you don't deserve too much of my time. I have a precious amount of time on this earth, and I do not want to spend it fighting me at all. No. So giving her a name, taking my power back, challenging all her thoughts, booing her if I have to, because maybe she deserves it in that moment. I know in some ways she's trying to protect me in a way, but you don't got to. I got it. I got it. The next one is the love yours mentality. Shout out to J. Cole, because now we're looking back at him for apologizing and we're thinking he was a genius. So maybe he was a genius with this with the Love Yours song and this Love Yours mentality. This Love Yours mentality that I am working towards and trying to maintain. For me, that means just being present in the now, being grateful for what you have now, and appreciating the things that you do have, and showing gratitude in the little things, because there's so many little things in your life that you take for granted that you don't even know, like moving your hands, like being able to walk, being able to swallow, being able to get up, being able to breathe, to feel the wind on your body, like a breeze. It's these small little things are so important and so big and so monumental that we take for granted because we're so accustomed to it. It's usually, you know, a part of our everyday life that we forget how precious it is, and how some people are not gifted with that every day. And staying present, showing gratitude, and recognizing where I do have all the beautiful things in my life. The next one is when I'm feeling not enough, is doing something, moving my body, getting up, tackling a small task. For me today, this is like the third time I've recorded this, but the first time I actually did it, the second time I actually did it with the video aspect of it. And it's mainly because I struggled with feeling like I'm not going to be good enough at the video part of it, because it makes me a little bit more nervous. So I got scared, and I just recorded it on my bed, and then I ended up editing the episode, and I hated it. I hated it so bad, and because it just felt like I gave up on me, and it felt like I didn't try as hard as I could. And when I was editing it, it also ended up deleting itself. So I was like, the universe is like, girl, go sit your ass up over there and figure out how to do this video aspect of this episode. It's not going to kill you to try and try and try. So here I am trying, and I'm doing something. So do something that you can do in that moment to kind of like make you feel like you did something for the day. If you can change and release the story that you have about this narrative with yourself. I'm for sure that this not good enough narrative started a lot earlier than the dancing incident. I'm sure it started way before I could think, properly. And I have a lot of work to do when it comes to changing that narrative, because it's been a part of me for such a long time. So it's not going to be something I can just snap away. Crazy that I can't. Wish I could, but I can't. So in the meantime, I'm going to focus on reframing and changing the story. Every time I hear the word reframe, I think of Zanisha. So reframe and change the story, and just make it on my terms. Make it a better version for me, something that I can sit well with, and something that makes me feel better. So it's not that I can't dance, it's that I'm learning to dance. So yeah, just switch it up. Just switch it up. And last but not least, the thing that is helping me is switching it from me versus everyone else, versus then beam boom. Switching it from me versus everyone else to me versus me, because I cannot control someone else's path. I don't have no bearing on that. What they have is what they have. The blessings that they're going to have is already written for them. I can never be jealous or feel like I'm not going to get what I'm going to get because they got it. It's always me versus me. Only outcome I can control is the outcome of me. And what I can do now is work on making myself the best version I can be, and not look to the next person or the person in front of me, because there's always going to be someone, like Jaco said, there's always going to be someone prettier, richer, and all that. But none of them are me. I genuinely believe that I was crafted so perfectly, so amazingly, and even when I forget it, it's still truth. And I never want to take that for granted by looking at someone else and thinking that they must have it better. I don't know what they got going on. Don't know if I want it, even if I had it. But I know that this right here, and this is what I got going on right now, is just good enough, and more than enough, actually. If we being real, more than enough. So yeah, just trying those things out, and I hope that helps you. But those are some of the things that has helped me so far in my journey and working through this feeling of not being enough. Okay, this is a part of the advice segment. So to wrap this episode up, I'm going to give some advice that you guys sent in on my Instagram at that so Thinkative. So let's get into it. First one is Proper way to shoot your shot at a woman. I love this question, actually. I would love for a man to just walk up to me looking fine. 90s fine, if I do mind that. But no, but walk up to me and compliment me on something that I probably wouldn't expect him to compliment me on. Whether that's like, but it has to be like, you don't even, it can be a common compliment, but as long as you use intriguing words, maybe use intriguing, like your eyes are very intriguing, or I like the way you color coordinated that, or something, something sweet, but something thoughtful and something genuine, a genuine compliment. And then chat it up a little bit, and then pass me his phone with the dial pad open. I've done this to a man before, and it works every time, where you just pass on the phone with the dial pad open to add his phone number. And so do that so she can add her phone number, and I'm pretty sure you can get that right away. The next one is, what do I do about not liking my boyfriend's best friend? I can go into it. Damn, I wish I would have responded to this earlier so you can go into it. Hold on. I've actually dealt with this, but with a girl best friend. I don't know if yours is a girl or not. And I was right about it, so. I would say, if I was in your shoes, I would say voice it to first have a moment with yourself and ask yourself, what are you feeling? Is it like truly have that conversation with yourself? So when you come to your partner, you've already, what is that word? Set with yourself and understood your feelings. So when you communicate it with your partner, you know where you stand and how you feel. So you can't get manipulated, can't get manipulated, or, you know how to accurately describe how you're feeling to someone. That's something that helps me a lot, because I can get jumbled with how I feel, and I can end up not really voicing what I actually genuinely feel about the thing. So I would say sit with yourself first to analyze how you truly feel, and then go to your partner and tell them how you feel and gauge their response. Their response is going to tell you your next steps, because the way they respond to you will tell you exactly how they respect you and how they want to move forward. So hopefully they come just as understanding as you are, and work through that. I really wish I would have asked for more, because maybe the context would have been better. Like, more context would have helped me give better advice. Okay, the next one is advice when you're feeling mentally drained. Oof. I felt this a lot, especially last year. If you can, I say get back to the basics. Do some things that little kids would do. By that I mean alone, for one, if you can, but paint. I went to Five Below the other day, and I got this little sculpture like thing that you can mold, and then you paint it afterwards. It was like obviously like no more than $5, and it was something to keep my mind off of everything that's going on. If you can, rest, take a day, don't move, and just lay in the bed. Go on a date with yourself and just really sit with it. Go to a park. You don't even have to be anything expensive. Go to a park, but just spend time with just yourself. I think that is the main thing, and the main point I would want to get across is to spend time with yourself and enjoy that time, because your body needs it. Your body really needs it. Just how you would if you were physically tired. Your body needs a moment to not think and not to exist and stuff like that. And I think I kind of get lost in doing little arts and crafts. I get lost in going on walks. I get lost in laying in bed and, just scrolling through TikTok. But something to just keep you lost for a little bit, because sometimes your brain needs to just be off. So, yeah. And then the last question is, how do you feel about picky eaters and men who only date certain type of women? I can't speak on men. I don't know what they got going on over there, but I can speak on a picky dater, as I am myself a picky dater now. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a picky dater. I think you need to know what you want and what you don't want in order to date in this society, because you can get really lost in the sauce if you just out here doing whatever. So I don't think there's anything wrong being picky, but I do think you can end up, crossing out a lot of good people just because of one little thing. I think maybe open up a little bit more boxes if you can, but never to the point where you're cutting your standards. That's different. Two different things. And men who particularly only date certain women, I'm assuming, because since this was a conversation we had talked previously about black men only dating white women, I think that's a preference. Like, if it's a preference, there's no problem with it. My problem becomes when you date outside your race and you become disrespectful towards your own race or any other race that's not the race that you're dating. I think that is where you lose me, because you can go ahead and date whoever you want to date, but I think you lose a little bit of respect, not a little, a lot of respect from me but when you disrespect other cultures or other races because you're dating someone else. It's a little weird. It's a little suspicious, a little sus. But that is about it for this episode. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. This is my first video episode, and I'm kind of liking the setup. I don't know if you guys like it or not. But this is going to be how it's going to be for a solo episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was like our 4th date. When you gonna let me Bye guys, have a great rest of your week. Oh wait, I forgot to say. I forgot. Please like, comment, rate, subscribe. Follow me on That's So Thinkative everywhere, TikTok and Instagram. And on YouTube, subscribe. I appreciate you. Thank you. Bye, darling.